How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. There's something very interesting happening in the market, and that is it is falling. Hey, Bitcoin's down at $83,000. It's fluctuating a bit, so maybe by the time you watch this, it's not there. But we have Bitcoin at 83. We have altcoins falling significantly, and we don't know when this will stop. We don't know how low Bitcoin will go. We don't know how long this will occur. We don't know if the bear market is coming, but I have some thoughts. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this. There are places to trade underneath the video as well in case you want to try out BTCC or WEEX or BTCC or Blowfin. There are some special bonuses right now when you sign up for those exchanges, so definitely check that out. There's a ton of upside here, in my opinion. But let's talk about the market. Obviously, we have the market falling down today, and it's been a dog recently. Bitcoin's been falling down. We're down at 83,000. We were at 110 just a month ago. So Bitcoin's fallen down 25%. We have altcoins falling down even more than that. Some are down 50, 60, 80%. And a lot of people are freaking out. We see a lot of people leaving the market. If you're here, you've lasted longer than most people. There are a lot of people that joined in the market in November and December now are leaving. With that being said, the best way to make money over the long term is staying in the market, right? Dollar cost averaging, staying, invest in the market, paying attention to the market, especially with top quality assets, right? If you buy a small meme coin, anything can happen, but you buy Bitcoin and you'll probably do well over a long time span. Right now, Bitcoin, the price is fluctuating a lot. There's uncertainty in macro. We see the S&P 500 falling down for a couple days in a row. Nvidia had earnings today, and it freaked some people out leading up to it. They actually reported really good earnings. They beat on EPS and revenue, I believe. So they're doing well. The problem is people feel uncertainty, right? They feel uncertainty in the macro environment. They feel uncertainty with, what's going to happen with nation state adoption. Is Bitcoin going to be bought by nations? Is it going to be bought by state governments? Is it going to be bought by the big institutions because they've been selling over the last couple days? It's interesting to watch because if you look at it, Bitcoin is the exact same asset that it was a day ago, a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, 10 years ago. Maybe a little bit different than it was 10 years ago. It's used for different things, but it's still the same asset that it was recently. The only difference is the prices come down. So I go back to what I said in the video earlier today, going back to the Warren Buffett scenario. If you buy an asset and then the next day someone comes to you and says, hey, I'll buy this asset for less, like 30% off, you probably don't freak out, right? If you're buying something like a farm, right? You buy a farm for $1 million, will produce. Someone comes and offers you $700,000 the next day, you're not freaking out if they're offering you less. If they offer you $500,000 the day after, and then $200,000, like, you're not worried. They're just a crazy person that doesn't know what they're talking about. But eventually the price gets to a point where maybe they offer you $3 million in a day, and you take that deal because it's just a stupid deal. They don't know what they're talking about. They capitulate when times are bad. They overpay when times are good. And that's how you should treat the market. Right? When we have a market that gives you prices every second, you shouldn't be freaking out when the prices are down. Right? You should just be taking advantage when the prices are up. You should be thinking about a long-term time horizon. I don't think Bitcoin has ever performed negatively over a 4-year time horizon, and it's performed well every 4-year period that you can look back. Right? I think Bitcoin will still do really well over the following 4 years. I think it will do really well over the coming 6 months or a year. I don't have a crystal ball though, so I don't know for sure it will do well in the next year. A lot of it will come down to macro. A lot of it will come down to, does the US buy, right? Does the US buy Bitcoin? Because some of that is priced in the market a little bit, right? We are 30 days into this 100-day period where they're looking at adding Bitcoin to the balance sheet. Some people are against buying Bitcoin. They don't want their tax dollars buying something that doesn't produce cash flows, right? They want reduction in debt. They don't want new investments. So it'll be interesting to see, right? There's not 100% guarantee that we'll have Bitcoin as a reserve asset. But I think over a long enough time span, you realize Bitcoin is valuable, right? There aren't governments that can inflate it away. You can send it across the nation. You can send it across the world in a few seconds for very low fees. You can hold it yourself without some kind of third party. So if your bank goes bankrupt, it's not going to affect your Bitcoin. If your brokerage account or if your broker goes bankrupt, it's not going to cause your investments to go down to zero or go down to the SIP insurance rate. So I think there is a lot of upside to Bitcoin still. I think a lot of people will see that Bitcoin's valuable, and they'll understand that there is this kind of run on Bitcoin where there's just not enough Bitcoin to go around. Right? There's so many institutions, nations that are looking at buying. There's going to be an influx of capital too and money supply that's going to try to buy hard assets. And Bitcoin is one of those hard assets. So this will happen, but right now the US isn't printing money. Right? There's no quantitative easing happening right now. There's still uncertainty. There are other nations that are quantitative easing, but like I said, there's still uncertainty in the US, the major economic power. So we're seeing liquidations, right? Bitcoin's seeing $83,000 today. There's a couple billion of liquidations over the last couple days. Short-term holders are getting wiped out. There's some high leverage traders that are getting wiped out. But like I said, I do leverage trade, but I'm using 3x leverage. I'm using low leverage because I think there's a lot of padding and there's still a lot of upside. If you can survive times like this, leverage trading actually does really well. You can make a ton of money from it, but it is riskier than just buying spot. I also think you should have some kind of portfolio outside of crypto, whether it's cash, real estate, stocks. I actually was just in a very long lunch meeting with someone that buys a lot of real estate, and the fact is you can make good returns in other industries as well. But Bitcoin does provide the best return over a long time horizon, but you have to be able to keep in the market. You have to be willing to dollar cost average. You have to have that long-term time horizon, right? Because most people do not make money in crypto. Most people lose money because they invest at peak euphoria, they sell at peak panic. And I don't want to say we're at peak panic right now, but the relative strength index, RSI, is down into the oversold area. We are seeing people capitulate. We're seeing max fear, right? So just keep that in mind, right? Keep that long-term time horizon. Even if we're seeing big sell-offs, we'll be fine over the long term if you're buying good quality assets with a long-term time horizon. Let me know your thoughts. Again, there are links underneath the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.